Who's it going to be next, Scottie? And why is it going to be somebody else? Could it be because you're bitter?
It is.
Could it be because of the last dance and you still salty about that?
He's hurting right now.
Could it be because when it was time for you to get paid, even though Michael Jordan had advised you not to take the money because it was a bad contract, you didn't listen to him and then ended up being bitter and trying to hold out and all of this other stuff? Could it be because when Michael Jordan retired and you went and you took your talents to Portland that you couldn't close the deal and Shaq and Kobe put you up out of there in the game 7?
I want to do that. That's not the point. You didn't answer
that
the
is the
question.
point.
You didn't answer the question. Ask the question.
What's the question, Josh?
Would they have won if Scottie Pippen retired?
Do I believe that the Chicago Bulls could have beat the Houston Rockets?
Stephen A. Smith goes off on Scottie Pippen. Check out what he had to say, and then I'll come back with my comments.
Scottie, it's not that he's dishonest, it's that he's bitter.
He is.
Now, let me be very, very clear. I go off the reservation, per se, when you say you hating on somebody just because you don't believe they're the GOAT. Scottie Pippen's opinion, he's a 6-time champion. He's one of the greatest players in NBA history. He's a top 75 player of all time, one of the elite defensive players the game of basketball has ever seen. You can never take that away from him.
Real talk.
But the issue with Scottie Pippen and his opinion is that it has waffled, it has wavered, and Melo was absolutely right to point that out.
The thing is with Scottie, he's going to flip-flop. 1 minute Jordan's the GOAT, then Magic's the GOAT, then LeBron's the GOAT. So it's obvious that Scottie Pippen's hurting right now, and he needs his friend Michael Jordan.
The fact of the matter is, when you look at Scottie Pippen, years ago, MJ was the GOAT. He's on national TV. On NBA Today, if I remember correctly. On ESPN, sitting up there talking about LeBron is great, but he wasn't MJ. Then you get pissed off at MJ, but LeBron is the GOAT now. Now it ain't even LeBron, it's Magic. Magic's a 5-time champion. Universally recognized as the greatest point guard in the history of basketball. And was a winner. Got to 9 NBA finals and dominated the 80s. And he was Showtime, and he was a facilitator, and he was all of that. That's fine. Even Magic and Bird said, Michael Jordan told him to their face, there's a new sheriff in town.
Thing is, Magic can be your GOAT, but it's when you flip-flop and go back and forth. No one's saying Magic isn't great. Obviously, Jordan and LeBron, we're not saying they're not great. But when your opinion changes, that's because 1 minute you may wake up feeling great about Jordan. Then the next minute you wake up feeling like, you want all the smoke. That's what the issue is with Scottie Pippen. If you feel like something, stand on it. Don't just change every few years.
We all know what time it is. And what makes it so sacrilegious, which is what Melo pointed out, that's to catch you in the bunker with. See, we're not talking about the real when it comes to Scottie Pippen and all of this stuff. We're not talking about the real. You won 6 championships with them. Remember he retired after the first three-peat? Remember how you couldn't get it done as a member of the Chicago Bulls, courtesy, in part, of the Hugh Hollins call against you on the Hubert Davis jump shot at Madison Square Garden. I get that part, but you still didn't get it done.
Had to get it done.
And then the very next year, Michael Jordan comes back. Y'all get bounced out in the second round to the Orlando Magic with Nick Anderson and those boys. But prior to that, you were kicking up your sneaker, showing the Jordan emblem on the bottom, begging them to come back.
Yeah, that was an opportunity for Scottie Pippen to let the world know he can win without Jordan. But when you kind of point to your shoes, Jordan's shoes, and be like, come back, please help me out, that's another strike against Scottie Pippen.
You asking back for then? It was your team. Same team, by the way, that you got pissed at and deserted because Phil Jackson called the final shot for Tony Kukoc. Remember that?
Can't forget
You're talking about
that.
Jordan this way. Now you throw on LeBron and you saying, don't none of them matter but Magic. Could it be that you're bringing up Magic because Magic was a facilitator and you thought yourself as a facilitator? You weren't a facilitator. Even though you played point forward, you wasn't driving in the lane and dishing it out like Magic did. You were running the triangle, and you were an elite defender. But you wanted to quintessential, prototypical point guard that Magic Johnson was. So you didn't mirror his game either.
Yeah, Scottie Pippen was great. Probably top 5 greatest two-way players ever. He took a little bit from Magic, but Scottie Pippen, he was mainly a defender and someone that can make a jump shot. That's pretty much what Scottie was. But again, not to say that Scottie Pippen wasn't great, but he's looking real bad out there on social media.
Who's it going to be next, Scottie? And why is it going to be somebody else? Could it be because you're bitter?
It is.
Could it be because of the last dance and you still salty about that?
He's hurting right now.
Could it be because when it was time for you to get paid, even though Michael Jordan had advised you not to take the money because it was a bad contract, you didn't listen to him and then ended up being bitter and trying to hold out and all of this other stuff? Could it be because when Michael Jordan retired and you went and you took your talents to Portland that you couldn't close the deal and Shaq and Kobe put you up out of there in the Game 7? All of that happened.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. Scottie Pippen on Portland, another great opportunity to win, but they had to go against the Lakers, Shaq, Kobe in their prime, Derek Fisher, Robert Horry. So that was his one chance to maybe get to an NBA Finals and make some moves. But unfortunately, again, he ran into the Lakers. And you know what happened in that series.
But you talking. Damn, I appreciate Carmelo Anthony calling it out like that. He didn't get as specific as I did, but the specifics that I threw out there is exactly what Carmelo was talking about. LeBron don't need to step to him. Like, what's this? All he's saying is that neither one of them is the GOAT to me, but LeBron's the GOAT of this generation. He just ain't the GOAT over MJ.
Well, you know, Carmelo's biased. LeBron's his best friend, so I expect him to really side in LeBron's favor. But overall, I'm just calling out the flip-flopping of Scottie Pippen, not standing on business, disrespecting LeBron James' legacy. You can say stuff about your 6 championships, but you try to disregard LeBron's championship. So I think that's where Carmelo had a real issue with Scottie with.
It is what it is. My nephew Josh wanted to be in on this segment too, because you had a lot to say about it off the air. So go ahead and tell the audience what you have to say about it now.
Well, I'm on Scottie's side in a way.
What?
You heard me. And the reason why is because I got 2 questions for you, because you keep bringing up what happened when Michael Jordan retired.
You got to read the script, bro.
Scottie Pippen retired at that same time and Michael Jordan was playing with Steve Kerr, Tony Kukoc and them, would they have won the championship?
Wrong question. The right question is 2 parts. Number 1, would Michael Jordan have quit on his team and refused to re-enter a game because Phil Jackson called the final shot for somebody else? Then I answer that question.
Would Phil Jackson call the shot for somebody else if Michael Jordan was on the team?
Exactly. That's my point. No, he wouldn't have. Yeah. He would have let Jordan decide it. You know why? Because Jordan was a better offensive player than Scottie Pippen was. So Jordan would have been in a position to make a better decision. That's how John Paxson hit a game-winning shot to win a championship. That's how Steve Kerr hit a game-winning shot to win a championship. What Scottie would do naturally, Jordan would draw attention and create an opportunity for somebody else because his greatness offensively was so supreme that you expected him to take the last shot so he could defer to somebody else and make sure they had a wide open shot. Nobody was keen on Scottie Pippen like that because Scottie Pippen didn't have that kind of offensive repertoire.
Yeah, of course. If Scottie wasn't there, Jordan may not have won 6 championships, but he may have got at least 1 or 2. Definitely more than Pippen, in my opinion. But, you know, Phil Jackson would have never called a play outside of Michael Jordan. It wouldn't have been a Tony Kukoc or a Bill Winnington or any of those other players. Jordan would have been the one to either pass the ball, but the call would have been in his favor. You're either going to score or you're going to play make. So, again, 2 different caliber of players, but he did need Scottie Pippen. Scottie needed Jordan. They were a perfect combination. But overall, again, with Scottie Pippen just talking junk and being in his feelings, that's the main issue with Scottie right now.
So that's number 1.
When Jordan was gone and it was Scottie Pippen and Tony Kukoc, you're going to choose Tony Kukoc to take the last shot?
The last shot, yes. You're not saying that Scottie Pippen wasn't a better all-around player, but Tony Kukoc was a better shooter.
That's it, just shooter.
Yeah,
I'm a better offensive player.
But a last shot is a last shot. And so if they're keying on you, Tony Kukoc is a guy that you trust to make the shot. Scottie Pippen can make a play. Tony Kukoc can make a shot. Don't act like you know basketball.
I'm saying I'm not calling the play for Tony Kukoc. I'd have been offended too if I'm Scottie Pippen. You're not doing that.
Would you have refused to re-enter the game?
Is it my team or not?
So that was a bad look for Scottie. You definitely got to put an asterisk by his legacy, not coming into the game, pretty much giving up on your team, pouting because you weren't going to get the last shot. So, again, Scottie hasn't been perfect or flawless, especially when you try to compare him and LeBron James. But again, Scottie, hopefully you can talk to Jordan. I know you're hurting right now. You need that friendship back.
Would you have refused?
No, I wouldn't do that.
Then shut the hell up.
I wouldn't do that. That's not the point.
That is the point.
You didn't answer the question. Ask the question.
What's the question, Josh?
Would they have won if Scottie Pippen retired?
Under the same conditions, listen to me good. If the Bulls were in the same position that Scottie Pippen was in, remember, they win that series against the Knicks, they probably end up going to the finals, and then they would have played Houston. Do I believe that the Chicago Bulls could have beat the Houston Rockets? Yes. Now, again, I'm telling you, they're not a lesser version of themselves if Jordan is there instead of Pippen. That's my point to you.
I ain't gonna lie, that Houston Rockets team, that back-to-back championship team was legit. So with Scottie not there and just Jordan, Kerr, Kukoc, or whoever would have been there, it would have been a tough feat for to beat the Rockets. But, you know, with Jordan on your team, you always got a chance. But Stevens making it seem like, you know, they would have just won or they could have won. There's a little bit more nuance to it. But again, Jordan, he definitely would have tried his best.
Whether they win or lose, they're not a lesser version. The Chicago Bulls are not a lesser version with Jordan than they were with Pippen. That ain't happening. Nobody would disagree with me on that one. That would not happen.
Michael Jordan on the Bulls in the playoffs, record is worse than Scottie Pippen's Bulls on the record without Jordan.
Excuse me. Scottie Pippen only had a couple of playoff series without Jordan.
Small sample size.
That Jordan and Scottie Pippen played for since the 80s with each other.
But Jordan,
so the 6 championships, hold on, wait. They played like 8, 9 years together. Right. Scottie Pippen played 1 year without Jordan. Right. So you can't compare the numbers. Stop.
Unless they add in what Scottie did in Portland and then the year or two without Jordan, but still, small sample size. It would have been a better conversation if Scottie Pippen would have left a few years earlier after the first three-peat. Then we could start comparing and contrast, but with that small sample size, not the best debate.
Move on to something because you sound ignorant, okay? You sound ignorant, all right? That's number one. What was the other part that you was going to say about Scottie Pippen? You don't even remember.
Because you threw me,
ain't making no damn sense.
Let me get my points, though. I can't. Ain't this my segment?
Go ahead, man. Anything else you want to say about Scottie Pippen? Because you sound ignorant.
Yeah, I do. I feel like between me and you, you're the Michael Jordan of our situation. It's cool to be Scottie Pippen sometimes. So I got this merch, and it's featuring me and you on it. Well, check it out. That's me, because that was me holding. That's when Michael Jordan, you know, had the flu.
Boy, trolling, man.
Or whatever. Stephen A gets sick sometime, and I ended up carrying him. So I ended up putting that on the shirt. So.
But again, man, Scottie Pippen, he's hurting. He wants his homie back, but it is what it is, man. Scottie Pippen got to chill out on the media, stay consistent. If Magic's the GOAT, he's the GOAT. It is what it is. But with all that flip-flopping, Scottie looking real bad out there.